Hey guys, it's Jet888 here. It's a Monday on the 18th of July, and I was going to just show you a few things, some things that I've done, and will make it easy if you want to start growing your own food. You know the saying of when the best time to grow a fruit tree? It's 10 years ago. So get on it. And anyhow, I wanted to show you a couple things that I've done. And this is especially if you don't have money to spend on food sources or whatever, this is where you can start. Here is a mature pomegranate tree. Here's the other side of it, and Disney would hate this video because I'm showing the mommy tree, and I'm going to show all how to make the baby trees. Okay, so excuse my mess, but this is a 1-year pomegranate, little baby pomegranate that I stuck in the ground last year from a cutting from that mom I just showed you. And this is actually its second fruiting because about a couple months ago, I guess ground squirrels or something came and ate off all these little pomegranate blooms. But this little tree just decided to start over again, so it's blooming. So literally this is the first year, and I probably actually should be cutting all these off, and that's what that ground squirrel did, so it didn't really bother me. But then the tree decided to continue trying to make pomegranates, and I'm probably going to nip off some of these buds just not to strain the root system so much, you know, so it doesn't have to work so hard, and next year I'll get better fruit, or the following years. But anyhow, this is just a branch that I cut from that other big mature pomegranate tree, and last year I stuck it in the ground. Nothing big, look at this, it's just, I didn't even do any, I just stuck it in the ground and it's growing and fruiting. So you don't even have to graft these fruits or anything, because this is basically a clone of that mature pomegranate tree I had. I'm just showing you real quickly one reason why I was interested with the pomegranates and perpetuating their growth. So if you look at, here I'm at PubMed, NIH.gov, you know who's part of that. But anyhow, these are researchers who have found the healing and medicinal properties of pomegranate. Here's a study, vasculoprotective effects, and they say the fruits and seeds, as well as other anatomical compartments, e.g. flower and leaves, I don't know why this isn't focusing, are rich in numerous bioactive compounds, and therefore the scientific interest basically has been growing in popularity over the years, and it talks and shows about the medicinal and healing properties of this plant. It says it lessens hypertension, it helps with coronary artery disease, positively influence endothelial cell function, which is something that people would probably be interested in if they've had the little shot. But I'll leave the studies to the pomegranate plant. Here another study that I'll leave to you. It shows the antioxidant, anti-carcinogenic, anti-inflammatory properties, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, dental conditions, erectile dysfunction, bacterial infections, antibiotic resistance, ultraviolet radiation, induced skin damage. Anyhow, I'm going to keep looking at these. A lot of these things are what we're dealing with kind of today, but that's a big one. Alzheimer's, arthritis, obesity, whatever. So you'll see this plant definitely has good properties. I'm going to go out and show you a little bit of the banana and what I did with that. But look at this, banana peel extract. I'll leave you this study too. But it showed here banana starch film that I think that you get with your the peel, showed low film solubility but excellent barrier properties to UV light. So maybe you could just take a banana peel and wipe it on the back of your arm. I'll have to look at, or your face, for some sun protection. I'll have to look into that a little bit deeper. But this says the BSF, that's the banana starch film, showed the highest radical scavenging activity and inhibitory activity of E. coli. So it says here, the successful inhibition of lipid oxidation in the minced pork was possible with the BSF. The BSF incorporated with the banana peel extract could maintain the quality of minced pork in terms of oxidation retardation. Isn't that interesting? And this is just a little diagram that shows the antioxidant properties of antimicrobial properties of banana starch films. I'll leave you this, look at that, against E. coli. I'll leave you this study as well. Now this is a banana tree that up above, closer to my home, you know, I just shove everything all in a small space, but the gopher had taken this tall tree that you've seen has already like fruited, but it sheared off the bottom roots to this banana plant. So I came down here and put it in an area that the gophers probably couldn't get to. And since then it's had 3 babies. Actually, it's got 4 in the back. So 4 babies just from this tree. And then I planted it alongside it another type of banana, but I've done that to a couple of my banana trees that have been destroyed by gophers. I just literally pick them up out of the ground and I stick them in the ground and they grow, and then they produce pups along the way. Okay, so also if you like dates, and I'm not talking about the type with special pronouns, I'm talking about these kind of dates that add sweetness or whatever. Dates have good mineral content. I've literally taken dates like this out of the package, except I have the ones that are seeded. Like those that I just showed you are pitted. You don't want to have pitted dates if you want to grow them. But I've literally put the seeds in, and in the ground, just shove it in the ground here, and this little guy started growing. And same with this one. They're different types of dates. I think one was like a yellowish round one that was sweet, and the other one was a brown date. So, and I can't remember for the life of me which tree is which, but I'm just waiting to see what happens. Here's a mango, little baby mango tree, but just a couple of months ago I took the mango from the store, ate the fruit, cleaned it off. Sorry about the camera work there. Cleaned it off and stuck it in the ground. I sprouted, I think for a couple days I wrapped it in paper towel, sprouted it, wait for it to sprout, and then I put it in this is a 15-gallon container. And I did the same thing to this little mango tree. It's the second year it's given fruit, and it's only in a pot. I shown my coffee tree before, but same thing. You take the seeds, and that's one reason why I grow these, is for the actually for the red berries, because those are really has a lot of antioxidants in them. And see, they're still giving their seeds, and they're also flowering. So this will be the third fruiting in 1 year that this tree has given me. And with that coffee berry, that coffee plant I have, I've made coffee from it once, so because I didn't take the time to deal with the seeds except for planting them. But this is a graviola. We also call it a soursop. This is supposed to be a really healing medicinal plant for people with cancer. I'm having to trim the top just to keep it short enough in this little greenhouse I have. Sometimes it can get too hot in here, so I'll turn on a fan to keep the air off the top from burning it. But back to the little coffee plant, I'm going to show you the seeds that I've used. So here are some of the seedlings at different stages, but these are understory plants. I just actually pulled them out of the shade to show you, but anyhow, they're still young. So just a few days ago, I actually planted 2 more little babies of coffee. Where'd it go? There it is. I planted these guys under, so this is what you call understory because it's under a plant, so it gets the shade and some dappled light. But this is to my loquat tree, which the loquat, the leaves itself, once you clean them and make a tea out of them, sorry about my fingers, are pretty dirty from working in the garden. You could make a tea out of these, and they remove the heavy metals from your body, which would right now be a great thing. And that's growing next to Comfrey, which I put some Comfrey root in here, and they've just taken off. But the Comfrey fixes nitrogen. It's a nitrogen fixer, which is a good thing for the soil, despite what the governments are trying to do right now. Here's another Comfrey that I've put underneath my quince tree. Oh, and this quince tree, it's just now starting to fruit, but this is really good for connective tissues. You have to boil this fruit and make like an applesauce out of it, but it's really tasty when it's ripe after you've boiled it. But comfrey is also, another word for it is bone set, because it helps injuries heal. Like literally, if you have torn tissues or bones broken, it will help heal them more if you put a poultice on it. But this quince tree also, it's another one that you can literally take a cutting like this branch, you remove all the leaves except for the top couple leaves, so it has some way to get energy, but it's mostly focusing on the root system if you do this, and then you stick it in the ground. Now this is longevity spinach. I think I've showed this. This is really easy to root. You just take a cutting, the top cutting, remove all the leaves except for a few at the top, put it in the ground, and it will grow. Look, this started with one plant, and I have a whole mess of it over here. And this is called longevity spinach. It's highly nutritious. There's Mr. Fonda. We have a fly mask because we don't want the flies to be bothering their eyes. So here is a nectarine tree. It's gosh, I've had it a couple years. One time I did a live and I was sitting right in front of this little tree kind of pruning it, and for some reason the video kept coming in and out, but I took a clipping from this, like this part of the tree, just took a little clipping. This guy, I stuck that clipping, this was last year, I put this clipping of that mama plant I just showed you into the ground, and in less than a year, this is what I've got. It's already producing fruit, which I have cut off some, but it's already growing into a full producing tree after 1 year. So here's another example of clippings. See the little cut marks? I just took these clippings. If you don't have a full-size fig tree or apple tree or a stone fruit tree like a plum or apricot or nectarine, whatever, just see if you can find a neighbor that has one and ask them if you can take a clipping. You stick it in the ground, and when did I stick this one in the ground? I can't remember. It's a couple months ago, and I've got a nice little tree baby going. And I did the same thing here with my neighbor's apple tree. She has a really good apple tree. Let me get closer here. I have an apple tree too, but I liked hers. But look, it's already, if I can focus here, I don't know. But let's see, I put this in the ground June 8th, and it's already showing. This was a little stick, and it's already showing a bud. So it's very easy. If you can find or see someone who has a fruit tree, ask them if you could just take a couple clippings. You either stick it in water and let it root out a little bit, or you just plop it in the ground. Like I just put this in the dirt. You can do the same thing with huckleberries. This is a huckleberry, and it's in the dark. It likes the shade. And here's a little baby. I just took a teeny little branch, stuck it in, and it's already sprouting and growing. Let me just show you one more little example here. I got this fruit at, it's called a hemi melon. I did some research on it. So it's a hemi melon I got at a store, a local grocery store outlet, and see the little seed coming off that leaf there? I just opened, after I ate the fruit, I put the seeds in the ground, and I have a whole mess of these melons, and this is a really good melon, very sweet, crunchy, really good melon, really refreshing, has a lot of water content. And I'm not sure if you can see these, but for an example, here's organic gold potatoes. They got a little old, see that in there? I put them in the ground, and the potato slips are starting to come up, and then eventually they'll look like this. They'll look like this. These are potatoes also. And usually I put things in pots because I have such a problem with gophers, but with this, because they're potatoes, I simply dug out a deep hole and filled it back in. Oh, well, actually covered it with chicken wire, like a small kind of grid chicken wire, and then put the dirt back in, and then so the gophers can't come up and get them, and then planted my potatoes. These are sweet potatoes. This is from a sweet potato slips that I started with. The slips are the little plant that starts growing and rooting off the main potato. So right now, because it's so hot, you're seeing a little heat stress, but I'm watering them right now. Later tonight the leaves will be big and full again. You see this tree? It's an Antimoya. About, I think, 5 years ago, at the most 6. Last year I got the fruit for the first time, which it needs a special little beetle or something, so somehow I don't even know how I got the fruit. But the leaves, if you can't wait for the fruit production, look at that leaf right there. You can get benefits from the leaves in teas. And this little guy, I started from a seed. So look at, and so the leaves themselves are really beneficial. So one example, I'll leave you the link to this study, Chemical Profile and Biological Activity of Cherimoya. That's an Ananon, Cherimoya, and Antimoya. And it talks about the leaves has beneficial properties, identified 18 compounds, either flavonoids or alkaloids. Concerning biological activity, we found antioxidant properties, that's a good thing, correlated with polyphenols and anti-proliferative activity against HeLa and Hep. These are just cancer cell lines, whatever, but they're good benefits to these teas. They said their extracts, dietary supplements based on these cultivars might also have chemopreventive effects. That's the C word. Here's another study showing the phytochemical constituents of the Antimoya, the pharmacological properties. Oh, let's see right here. Antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, neuroprotective activities, anti-angiogenic, hypolipidemic. Look at these. So I'll leave this study for you too. Now inside here, besides it being super cool feeling, oh my gosh, the heat is so cut right now, but which is good, it's cool. We've got this passion fruit tree, which it has green fruit right now all over it. Eventually they'll become purple. And passion fruit's great for soothing, like the nerves, just calming people down. I think they use it as a anti-anxiety. There's all kinds of research. I'll find some studies for that for you guys too. Here's another fruit right there, but the flower itself is really pretty. But passion fruit is probably one of the easiest things to sprout and grow. Here I have a bucket of cuttings for any neighbors who might want them so they can grow their own. And if you can't grow it and wait for the tea or for the fruit, the tea itself is super medicinal. I'll leave you links on this as well. And if you don't have room for a full-size tree, you can use, this is a dwarf, and this guy has been so, this is just this morning what I got the fruit off it, and some since has fallen off on the ground underneath, but this is a little dwarf. It's only like, I'd say 3.5 feet tall, maybe 4 feet wide, and it's given fruit year after year. Now these aren't seeds from that particular grapefruit, but this is a seed from, let's see, hang on. Okay, so someone shared a pear with me, and there's 2 seeds in here. I started this little seed February 12th. We're February, March, April, May, June, what's 4 months? And I bet if I had started the seed like during the appropriate time, like in spring, it probably would be bigger. you know, last year, but this isn't even a year old. And this little guy, someone shared a lime with me, and I liked the limes. They're interesting. And so again, February 12th, I planted this seed as well. So these guys are just out in the garden. I just water them once in a while when I walk by, and look what they've done. Now these guys, these are called I think it's Thousand Heads Kale. And this is mainly, I mean, I do eat this because I like it a lot, but I use this a lot for my chicken food, for their greens, because it just keeps going. Now I'm 5'10", and this is way higher than me, and it just keeps, it's very prolific, it just keeps giving. So this is called a Thousand Heads Kale. It's a great hardy, really hardy. This is, it's like 2-3 years old, I think. And I grow these all over because everything will eat it. You know, the chickens and the horses, everything will eat it. Me. And here's a vine, and I can't remember, but I bought this seed, or a teeny little plant, like probably 12 years ago. This is its second location. I usually wouldn't let something grow out of control like this, but again, the horses like it, the chickens like it, and you can eat it raw in the salad. There's nothing to the taste, but if you just slightly like just drop it in hot water real quick and take it out, it has like a consistency kind of a little hardier than spinach, and it's super good. I add these with eggs and everything. I can't remember the name of this. I'm trying to identify this plant because I can't remember, and I didn't label it a long time ago. But this is what the leaf looks like. If anyone knows, I'd love to know what the name of it is. But it's great in teas too. So I'm gonna wrap this up, but let's get growing. Oh look, here's a little, remember I told you about the date seeds? This little guy's been hiding in here. I'm gonna have to clear out a little way for him, but that's a little date palm also. I guess he likes it here, but there's no reason not to be able to just start growing your own food sources. And most of my stuff there are in pots because I have problems with gophers. So that's all for now, but start perpetuating, you know, your own little, look, this is a strawberry. See this little root? Oh gosh, where am I? The little root here came and got into the dirt, planted itself, and now I have a whole nother strawberry pot. So what I'll do is cut that mother vine that's going to it. Sorry, I'm in between lots of plants, but also this is a wild growing purslane, and it's a really medicinal plant to eat it. It's from China, but it grows wild and prolific here. It's called purslane. I'll look for a link to give you the information about that too. But get your strawberries going because they perpetuate themselves too. All right, guys, be good.